Alrighty, hello everybody, welcome on back to some more LEGO Marvel Superheroes. This one is going to be for Rock Up at the Lockup Free Play, which is the 4th level of Free Play. Now you will notice a number of things here. First and foremost, 150,000 studs for True Believer. If you've already got that, don't worry about it. If you haven't, hopefully you've got some multipliers by now. If not, you really don't even need multipliers to get the True Believers. I mean, in story, we didn't have multipliers. I mean, we had a multiplier for actually a lot of the story, but, you know, even still, you should be able to get them really without much trouble. But more importantly, we are going to be getting the 10 Minikits and the Stanley and Peril here in the level. And also, it is important to note that you will need Magneto and Sandman, so both of them for this level. I think they're each about, I think Sandman's 170,000 and Magneto is 150,000, so just go ahead and purchase them from your character grid. Otherwise, make sure you've completed story. That'll get you all the rest of your characters you need, and that's about all I can recommend. But once we load into the level here, we're going to make our way over here to the front right-hand side, where you will notice a little lifesaver, one of those ring things, which like you kind of throw into the water to save people, or to save people's lives. Hence why it's called a lifesaver. But anyways, the first one was there on that front right-hand side as you load in, and then the second one is here down. I want to call it like a beach, but it's not really a beach. It's like a rocky. I guess a beach would work next to the water there. So that was the second one, and then the third one is over here on the kind of right-hand side. So just fly across the water and get to this third one here next to the edge, and then we're gonna just fly up top here where the fourth one will be. And once we've taken that one out, we're going to make our way over here to the left. Now, I do just want to make note, we do have video links in the description, so you can fast forward it to any and all of the collectibles that you may need. But we're just going to fly over here to the left where the 5th and final lifesaver is. So, yeah, if you're just in need of one specific collectible, then you can use those video links to fast forward to whichever one you may need. Because, you might need, like, the 10th Minikit, for example. Rather than watching through the whole thing, you can just use that video link to skip straight there. But anyways, let's get back to the collectibles. So, to the left of that last lifesaver, go ahead and travel through the grate. You can use Mr. Fantastic, or you can just teleport through as Loki. Either will work. Then, what we're going to do is, once we get inside this little cell here, you'll notice Stan Lee trapped at those, by the shackles there, so use anybody or anybody who has the sensibility to sense or detect some grapple plugs. We use Dr. Octopus for both, and then pull the 2 grapple plugs, and that will free Stan Lee. Then we're going to just head back through the grate, and then we're going to drop down below here, back kind of towards the beginning of the area, where you'll notice some blue bars up on the left. So use Magneto to break them, and then you can fly up and snag that Minikit inside the pipe. Then we're going to make our way over to the far right hand side of the area, and we're going to fly over the water, and we're going to use Iron Man to shoot one of his rockets down at that silver piece of debris on that boat there, and then a shark will come up and it will devour that boat, because I think it had some food on there, and then that will get us the 3rd Minikit. Then for the 4th Minikit, we're going to head over here onto this little ledge here by the water, and we're going to use somebody to pull the grapple plug there, which will burst open the pipe with some water spilling onto the ground, so we use Iceman to freeze that. Again, I do believe Loki does have the ability to freeze water into ice, but we haven't used him yet. We're just going to stick with Iceman, because, Iceman's pretty cool. I mean, we used Loki before for the grade, so, we'll switch it up and use Iceman. Plus, that's all Iceman is really good for. I mean, not to be so negative, but, yeah, Iceman's real only ability is to freeze water, but, anyways, once you've frozen the water, it'll turn into a little fishing pole, which will fish out the 4th Minikit. So that's actually going to be it for the collectibles for a little bit. Now we have a huge chunk of story. Now this level, it was like, I've sped up a lot of this video, a lot more than the previous levels, because we basically will have like a couple collectibles back to back to back, and then like a couple minutes of story, then a couple more collectibles, and then a bunch more story. There's like multiple minutes of like. There's multiple sections of story, but they're like multiple minutes long. So we've actually got this story stuff sped up noticeably a bit more than we have for the previous videos, but that is literally just so that it doesn't get absolutely chaotic and so it doesn't get too long, and It might be a little bit chaotic, but I didn't speed it up so much that it's like you're gonna, lose your head watching it. But it's still like fast enough that it's like it's not super dragged on, because I mean we've already done the story video, so we really don't need to include the story. And I didn't want to get rid of the story entirely, because if we just skip straight to another section of the level, you might be like, where is that? I don't even know where that is. And you might be like, oh yeah, I know where that is, but I don't actually know how to get there. Like, there's a bit of story that I'm confused on. So this way we're not going too in depth with the story. And there are those story videos if you do need specific help with the levels. They're longer, they've got all the cutscenes and everything, and it's not quite this sped up. But anyways, let's get back to the collectibles. So once we make our way into this area on the right by lowering the little bars down that were blocking our entrance into this area, and this is obviously where Abomination is sleeping in the back with his teddy bear. And you can see a bunch of inmates running around there, but what we are going to do is we're just going to focus on these blue bars in the back. So obviously Magneto is coming in very handy. He's been one of the most useful characters in this game, at least in the free play so far. I mean, Iron Man, I'd say, would definitely take the cake for the most used character for us, at least so far. But I think Magneto, he's quite up there, I'll be honest. But anyways, break those blue bars, and then we're going to break those beds in that little cell, so we can build up a grate here, which will travel through. We use Mr. Fantastic this time, and that'll take us into that adjacent cell where the 5th Minikit is. Then for the 6th Minikit, we're going to get to that straight away, sticking with Mr. Fantastic. If you come to the middle of the area, you'll notice up top there, above Abomination's cell, you'll notice 2 grapple plugs. And then I don't know what this was, but my camera was doing something weird there. I don't know. I have no idea, honestly, what happened there, but it just kind of it went a little crazy. But anyways, for those 2 grapple plugs up top, you can use Mr. Fantastic. But it is important to note you will need someone who can pull double grapple plugs. There's some characters like Hawkeye who can't pull double grapple plugs but can pull single grapple plugs. So use Mr. Fantastic or Spider-Man or Venom or Dr. Octopus, as we found out earlier when we freed Stan Lee. Use any of them to pull the 2 grapple plugs. Then you have to melt that gold wall by carving out the shape, which is the shape of a Minikit. Now, it was pretty tricky to do it from the ground. We found we couldn't. It was a bit of a weird angle, so we actually flew up top as Iron Man, and while we were in the air, we shot our laser to carve it out. But I carve it out, and then that'll drop some pieces down below, which we can build into the Minikit. Then, before I fall too far behind, over here on the right side of the area, use Magneto to manipulate the blue bin there, and then it'll pour out a smaller bin, and then use Magneto on that smaller bin to drop out an even smaller bin, almost like a can, and then go ahead and use Magneto one more time on that one to get you the Minikit. So you have to use them like 3 times, I guess it would be 3-4 times. Anyways, just use them until you get the Minikit. And yeah, so I guess that's kind of like the Russian dolls, how it's like they're all stacked inside each other and they get increasingly smaller. I don't know, that just kind of is what that reminded me of, and maybe that's the inspiration, maybe it's something completely different that I just have no idea about and am a little bit clueless. But either way, it doesn't matter, because we got the Minikit, so that's all that's important. Now, we do have a bit of story here as we open up this massive door here to get inside this little control room looking room, I guess. Control room looking room. Yep, that's how we're going. But yeah, control room looking room. Or whatever you want to call it. I don't really know exactly what it is, to be honest, but I mean, that's what it looks like. It's got computers. That's usually control stuff. But I'm really just I'm really just flapping the yapper while I'm really just like filling time while we're doing story stuff. Hopefully you remember this from story. If not, we are still showing it all, of course, just sped up a bit more than usual. But anyways, basically what we're trying to do is we're just waiting for this elevator to come down, and then there's a secret Minikit that is pretty easy to miss. So basically what I would recommend is stand away from the elevator just so you don't get tempted to run in. But once that elevator is open, you'll notice here on the left a sense spot has been revealed. So we're going to pull out anybody with the sense ability. We use Spider-Man, and then we have to pull out someone who can use electricity. We switch over to Storm because I don't feel like we've really used her very much. So, we're trying to switch it up. But go ahead and power up the electric generator, and then that'll reveal a little technology terminal there. So we'll use Iron Man, and then, or anybody else with the technology ability would work, and then that'll take us back into this maze that we were in before. Move your cursor down to the Minikit at the bottom, which was not there before, obviously, and go ahead and press it, and that will get you the 8th Minikit. Now we have a huge chunk of story because of this area. If you remember this elevator sequence here, basically we're trying to defeat Sabretooth, and it's just a massive like rinse and repeat thing. So basically what we have to do is we have to take out a number of enemies. So we have to take out like a horde of like, I don't know, maybe 30 enemies, and then what will happen then is Magneto will lift up one of the corners of the elevator here to make a little platform for Sabretooth. He'll jump on that, and what we have to do is we have to build up some sort of couch or bathtub and pick it up with someone strong like Hulk, and then throw it up at Sabretooth, and we have to do that 3 whole times, which is a little bit tedious. And again, obviously we have this sped up a ton, but with all the enemies, this would be a great place to actually stack up the It's Clobbering time achievement or trophy. We did mention that back in level 2 as well, I think, but this is a really good spot. I mean, you could probably take out close to 100 enemies in this whole area, but I guess, you know, your AI is kind of taking out some as well for you. But yeah, this would be a great place to use the thing to rack up that achievement. But I mean, pretty much every level has a lot of enemies, so you can pretty much do it in any level. But this one seemed pretty good to me, but you know, we already got it in the story within the 2 levels that you actually play as the thing, so you know, either way it works. But we are almost at the end of this area, I promise. We just have to throw that bathtub up there, and then that couch at Sabretooth there, and that's going to take us away to the final area. Well, it actually takes you away to a cutscene, but if you haven't noticed, we have just removed all the cutscenes because it's just unnecessary, you know. We already are showing you all the how to get through all the story stuff. Cutscenes we don't really need to show because, I mean, you can literally skip them, so, you know, that's why, because we can skip them. So, if we can skip them, so can you, so we're just going to get rid of them, and it just speeds the process up for everybody involved. But anyways, once you get into this new area, over on the left there, go ahead and blow up that silver debris in the corner. Then that'll reveal a little dig spot, so we'll use Beast to dig up some parts, which will build into a little blue crate. Then we'll pull the lever next to it, and that will cause a drone to come flying out, and that's going to be 1 of 3, so there are 2 more of those that we have to find. So for the second one, head over here to the far right hand side of the area, and you'll notice a gold box. Pretty difficult to miss there, and once you melt that away with Iron Man or Human Torch or anybody else with that ability, that will reveal a little sand pit here. So haven't seen one of these since level 1, I think it was, but use Sandman to bury yourself into the dig pile, and you'll actually transform into a cannon, which will shoot out the second drone. And then for the third and final drone, just fly straight up here to this higher ledge. Now in story, you're supposed to kind of like build up some ladders and stuff to get up top, but I mean, we have the means to fly, so we may as well. But just fly up there, pull the lever inside the room, and that'll get you the third and final drone, which will get you the 9th Minikit. Then for the 10th Minikit you saw there, we just dropped down below to the right, and we flew up that elevator chute, which got us to the 10th and final Minikit. Now that is going to go ahead and wrap it up for all the collectibles for this one, so you are now free to go ahead and get to your next level, whether that be level 5, or maybe it's level 6, or maybe it's level 15. I don't know, maybe this was your last level that you had to do. Maybe you just had one Minikit that you couldn't figure out, and if you did, hopefully we helped you out with that. But yeah, that is it for this one. Of course, I am just rambling and filling time while we finish out this level. And yeah, if we weren't speeding this stuff up a bit as much as we were, I mean, this could probably be like a 20-minute video, which would just be crazy. But you know, we do have it sped up because, well, anybody got time for all this story? Am I right? Maybe. Anyways, we're just gonna beat the crap out of Abomination. I think that's, what, his second heart gone now? Yep, and then basically we are also skipping a lot of story stuff, and that's what we've been doing a bit throughout this free play, because the flight ability is just really useful in being able to skip some sections of story. So rather than, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to dig up there on the left and build up a ladder, but we can just fly up there, you know, so if we can, we may as well. And here we can just fly straight up into this higher platform where the final light gun is, so we'll shoot that down at Abomination, and then we'll finish him off with Mr. Hulk here. So we'll just smack him about. Stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself. And then almost done. It's going to take us away to a little cinematic where Hulk picks him up and throws him at the chopper, sorry. And there you go, rock up at the lockup, level complete. And man, that was a doozy of a level. There was a lot going on in that one, but we did get it finished. So we are rounding it almost nearly at at nearly 80 million studs, which that number is going to rise pretty rapidly after here in a minute. But we'll get to that here in a minute. But you see True Believer there. Obviously, we already got that in the story, but we got like 20 million in this level. So if we hadn't gotten the story, we would have been just fine here with all our multipliers. But we can also see here 10 and 10 Minikits stacking up, and oh, again the comic is still not showing, and it probably will continue to not show. I haven't recorded any more of the levels, but I'm going to assume it will continue to happen. But you can see 2 more gold bricks stacked up, and we have now crossed 50 gold bricks. And I have been mentioning that something pretty special will happen at 50 gold bricks. And you know what? Something special will happen at 50 gold bricks, but you'll have to stay tuned for the next video. You know what? I can spoil it. We're just going to go cover another Deadpool mission because we've now got access to it, so we may as well, and it's got a pretty useful red brick in it as well, but you'll have to wait and see what that's all about. But anyways, if this one was helpful, a like would certainly be appreciated. Also, do feel free to subscribe, comment if you enjoyed, and yeah, until the next one, I will see all of you later. So everybody, bye.